I want to talk to you about the Hilaria Baldwin, Alec Baldwin drama. Look, first of all, huge fan of Alec Baldwin. I think all his children are adorable. And I used to follow Hilaria on Instagram because she's an inspiration for me. I'm also like a young mom, much younger than her. So rude. No, but I'm a young mom, and I love that how she keep herself together after having, like, I don't know, 5 kids, 4.
Yeah.
And
yoga.
She does yoga, she does like workouts, she does squatting at home. So she has a great lifestyle page. And I do like her. I think like she's very charismatic. But I mean, now with everything coming up, I didn't unfollow her, by the way. If you guys don't follow her because of that, I think it's an exaggeration. But she's still the same person. She just does not have the same nationality or that she was saying that she had. So, okay, not going in details there yet, but like, it is kind of weird, I think, that you have to pretend to be something else to make yourself look more interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder, do you think Alec Baldwin knew all the way that she was Hillary? Or...
Well, he comes out and he says, oh, it's always been known that she was born in Boston, and, you know.
No, he probably knows that. He knows the real identity that she has.
Here's what I think. He probably had some idea after getting to know her that this whole Spanish persona of hers is bullshit. But
it's a cultural appropriation, which is fine. People cultural appropriate all the time.
He was, you know, caught up in her, found her very attractive. Maybe their chemistry was great. They started having kids. They started giving the kids Spanish names. And, you know, he just thought, hey, who's ever going to call her out on this? Whatever. Maybe it even bugged him a little bit in the back of his mind. He was like, God, you know, this fake Spanish shit. Jesus Christ. But he, as you do in a relationship, you make compromises to accept the other person. So, not this relationship though, everything's perfect, but other people's relationships, you have to do that. And so, he just kind of allowed it to go on. And she did it, and by the way, it's not her fault or his fault. Everyone played along. Like, why didn't Latina magazine, that put her on the cover a few times, say, Hilaria, you're born in Boston and you don't really have a Spanish accent. Like, you know, it could have been exposed way earlier along the way. She obviously just thought, I'm a basic white woman from Massachusetts. I want to be more interesting. My family vacations in Spain. So I'm just going to say, and you know, she's older. She's a pre-internet age person. So pre-internet people, before the internet, you could get away with anything, especially before social media. Now, all it takes is one jackass on Twitter.
He's not related to Al Pacino.
That's right. I mean, come on. That was a big lie going around, apparently. But you don't have to, you know, she's older, so she probably thought, like, who's ever going to ask me about this? It would be in polite society. Who's going to ask me if I'm really from Mallorca? And one day, someone on Twitter did, because a lot of people on Twitter, you got to understand something about Twitter, all social media. But
tell us about Twitter. I don't know much about Twitter.
Every person on there is a clout chaser. Even the ones who claim to be exposing the bad people, even the woke activist types, they're all clout chasing.
You know my bread?
And they, nothing. Sure. They're all clout chasing. So they all, even when they're trying to do the right thing, they're doing it publicly on Twitter in the hopes that you will follow them and their follower count will grow, and so will their influence and their fame. It's all one big clout chase. If you have a social media account, you are a clout chaser. I am too.
I just made one, but I'm not a clout chaser.
Well, you know, I'm going to have to Alec Baldwin this one and not say that you're a clout chaser.
Okay,
I agree with you, Hilaria.
No, but let me say something very interesting.
Sure. Well, I'm going to eat now while you talk.
Okay. So my point of view, can you put your arm down? Stop. Look, I think my point of view is that, okay, Hilaria's family has a house. The parents live in Spain, and she's been going to Spain since she was like 14 years old pretty often. When you're in that developmental, and that's real. I have an accent. I don't know how to say that, but I know the word. I'm not dumb and educated. I have a bachelor's degree. It's in the walls. When you're in that stage, I think maybe she was solidifying who she is as a person. Even though she's Hillary, born in Boston, maybe because her parents vacationed too often to Spain, they later moved to Spain, and she was surrounded by Spanish people, and she, you know, spent a lot of time there, and then come back to America. You kind of develop a new identity, the same way I do. Like, for example, like, I'm Evilise, but I'm like, I'm something else for here. I think should I say the truth? In America, I like people to call me Evie.
Oh, we're sorry. We want to apologize now.
Because it's a simple way to say my name, Evilise. People have no idea how to like spell my name. They say Ivilise. My name is not Ivilise, it's Evilise. Yeah. And it's just complicated. You know, I prefer just Americanize my name so people can pronounce the right way. So I imagine Hilaria probably was called Hillary, but people, when she goes to Spain, people call her Hilaria, and she liked to be called Hilaria. Something clicked in her mind. So your identity of who you think you are could be also related to how you grew up. For example, Dante has a lot of African-American friends. And so he is very into like rap. He understands like the African-American culture. He's not a black guy. He's not gonna start calling himself like, you know, some weird name. But I think that be kind of like close to a culture that doesn't belong to you. I don't think it's cultural appropriation. I think it's a cultural appreciation. And I think maybe she didn't had like the thought of becoming a Latina. Maybe she, in her heart, she felt like one. And kind of because she's trying to raise her kids speaking Spanish. She's really close to Camila McCahoney. She's a Brazilian like me, married to Matthew McConaughey. See, you're lucky to have me. I could have had, you know, like Liam Hemsworth. Yeah. No, Liam Hemsworth. And she has friends that are kind of like the wives or like they're Latinas, and maybe she feels comfortable in their thing, and that she speaks a lot of Spanish, and maybe that is kind of a real thing. Like, for example, yeah. I'm not born in America. I was born in Italy. But when I speak Portuguese or Italian, I have an English accent. People told me that before. That even if I was born in that culture. So when I speak my own language, I have an accent. Yeah. Because my brain is thinking in English. And even though I speak Portuguese or Italian, when I come about, I sound like someone American trying to speak their language, but even though I'm not. And it just happens. Like, there's something about speaking multiple languages. You kind of carry along a little bit of residues of the previous language.
Look, the bottom line is being just a basic American white person is boring, especially if you're someone who wants to live a life around the arts and around high society.
That's why you're with me?
You know, she's from a wealthy background.
That's why you're with me?
No, that's not why I'm with you.
You like that I'm like not a basic white woman? You don't like it?
No, I do like that, but that's not why
you can tell people the truth.
I've been with basic white women. That, you know, it's not, I'm just saying, in day-to-day life, it's fine. But if you're trying to be an interesting person in New York society, you don't want to be just good old Hillary Hayward Thomas. You want to be Hilaria Baldwin or Evilise Baldwin.
Matavelli
Baldwin. Me, you know, my name is Dante. I have an Italian last name. I have Italian ancestry, but I've never set foot in Italy. I don't even think I've been to Little Italy. But I like to highlight the fact that I'm Italian. It's more interesting than just being Dan.
Like Leonardo DiCaprio.
The white guy.
Tell the Leonardo DiCaprio story.
Oh, about his name? This is a name I heard, or a story I heard, maybe apocryphal, maybe not, but supposedly before he was famous, he was trying to get an agent. The agent said, oh, you'll never get anywhere with the name Leonardo DiCaprio. We need to change your name to something more basic like Lanny Williams. Luckily, he didn't take the advice, and that kind of made his career. Actually, Donald Trump, before he was the president and before we all hated him, he made a good point. He said about DiCaprio, he said, you know, if without the name, he doesn't have a career. Now, this is years ago. DiCaprio has established himself, of course, as we know, but I think the name gives him a lot more cachet than he would have if he just had a normal name. Even like Tom Hardy, you know? Okay. Tom Hardy, great actor, but
I have a question. So you say you date a white woman, it's good for everyday life. Am I not good for everyday life? What the fuck are you talking about?
I was really saying being a normal white woman, that's fine. You know, you could do it. If you just want to live a life of anonymity and it's okay.
What if I
we don't all have to be famous.
What if I was a white woman?
I don't know if I would be with you.
Oh, no.
You wouldn't be who you are.
What if I was a white woman? What if I was just Eva? No.
I don't know that you would be with me either. You might not be interested. You probably want some fucking football quarterback, high school jackass, you know? Not me. Where's my water?
I don't know.
Fell on the ground. Anyways.
You can drink some of this one. Drink this one. I think it's a fine thing here. They say if I was not who I am, like if I was a white woman, he wouldn't be with me.
Listen, hold on. I've been with white women.
Okay, how is to be with a white woman versus an Italian woman?
Listen.
You can be honest.
There's no comparison, of course. Listen, the cultural similarities, the fireworks, passion and all that, the history, the beauty, you know, the body type, it all...
The skin?
The skin. The skin. No. The experience is second to none. I'll say that. But I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about what would drive her to make up an entire Spanish persona. And I understand why. And she just thought no one's ever going to call me on it. Or she was living in fear of one day someone getting sick of it and just calling her out. But, I mean, it's
she must be not that popular in high school because I know my friends will be like, she lying.
It's just
my frenemies,
well,
my friends and my frenemies will be like, oh, wait a second, she's lying. She's, you know, she's Brazilian, she's Italian, she's not American. People will like call BS on me. They will not just like let it slide.
People are now saying that, but like she's been out of high school for so many years that maybe those people moved on with their lives. Maybe they don't pay attention to celebrities.
She married to Alec Baldwin. Of course, you know people married Alec Baldwin.
Most people, if you ask them, won't know who's married to Alec Baldwin.
I married Alec Baldwin.
I mean, we're in LA, so we're tuned in differently to this type of stuff. But yeah, I tell you, one person who was happy that the Capitol got stormed last week. Hilaria Baldwin, because it knocked her story right off the front page.
Oh my, no, she's trending. Actually, the reason I'm talking to you. No. The reason I talked to him is because
people have turned their attention away from the Capitol storm.
Back to Hilaria.
Back to Hilaria.
Yeah, that's why we're talking about it. I was like, babe, we gotta talk about it because let me give you my idea. Like I said, I think she's innocent. I really think she actually.
No, she's innocent.
She's innocent. I think she's really speaks Spanish with her kids. She's really identify herself as Latina, like emotionally, physically. She looked like a Latina. She might be a white woman. She looked like a Latina. She passes by. She likes the culture. She names her kids that. I think in her heart she is a Latina. Hilaria, for me, you're a Latina. Yeah. And I think that
you're technically a Latina, right? So that endorsement. I
think that Hilaria is Latina at heart. She has her culture. She's that committed to it. And even though she might, people are like, oh, the accent. I speak my native language which is Portuguese and Italian with an English accent, because most of my life now, most of my adult life, I spend here in America. So I speak English all the time. I dream in English. And it happens. Sometimes I forget words. I'm talking to my mom sometimes over like Skype and stuff or WhatsApp. And I'm talking to her, I'm like, oh, what's that word? What's that word? What's that word? And my mom has to tell me. And it's my native language. It is a fair mistake. So I think, Hilaria, that you probably forgot the word in English because you're always thinking in Spanish. You're always talking in Spanish with your kids. You're always talking Spanish with Alec. And you're always talking to your family in Spain in Spanish. And it's a beautiful language.
But her family doesn't speak Spanish.
They live in Spain. How do you think they're getting their bakery?
Yeah, like they barely speak Spanish, I've heard.
How do you know? Like
They're two old white people from Massachusetts. One of them is a fourth generation Massachusettsian. And the father has
Massachusetts.
The father
I'm a Massachusetts.
The father has ties going back to the American Revolutionary War. They're not Spanish people, but it's just fun. It's just a funny thing to imagine.
Hilaria, you are Hilaria for me. You want to be Hilaria, you're Hilaria. You want to be whatever, be whoever you want to be. Can I say something real quick? Again, about the dating an Italian. So he said if he wants to have a simple life, he's going to be a white woman.
Yes.
Why don't you just have a simple life with me?
What are you saying? You want to have a simple life?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
But what if when I'm older, I want to have a simple life?
Well, when we're old, sure, of course. But, we still have color in our hair.
Well, you not really.
Anyways, finishing up with Hilaria.
Hilaria, you're the real deal, I think.
Yeah,
at
it's
heart.
just funny. It's no
It's
big
a
deal.
heart. It's a heart.
It's a scandal of
identity.
The Hamptons. I bet everyone around the Hamptons is going, ooh, did you hear about Hilaria? I knew she wasn't.
Oh my God! Pass me the caviar.
Yeah, exactly. So, it'll be
Get a life,
it'll
people.
be forgotten. She'll be back to being Hilaria. I don't think she ever changed her name, which is smart. Basically, in this day and age, just never apologize for anything, and eventually people will forget. And there's too much news. There's too much news. It just gets wiped away, and everyone forgets, and then you're back.
Okay, let me tell you something.